two more on top of that. Canva obviously has launched a lot of AI inside Canva, and everybody uses Canva, so that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
But the one that is interesting, I was talking to one of my coaches, Alicia Essig. Shout out to Alicia. I got obsessed like a couple weeks ago with Beautiful.ai. And Beautiful.ai is like literally, I go in and say, I'm building a PowerPoint, I'm building a marketing flyer, I'm building a piece like this. Here's what I want. I want a big, beautiful image that shows this, this, and this, a golf course, whatever it may be. And I need to add my photo in. It just goes boop, like this. Yeah. I mean, it's so instantaneous. It's almost scary. Now we see commercials now of some of the big monster companies out there that are doing this. But I'm finding like for our clients, like low cost, easy solution. I think the whole game is speed, having a creative thinking partner. To your point, Hammond, to get 25 options and then use your genius to say, I like that one and that one, but make it brighter and then give it to your team.
Yes.
How else do you see a CEO of a company, an agent using these tools that we're talking about so far just to speed everything up? Like AI or not, AI is here to stay and it's only going to accelerate. So today we want to talk about AI dominance, unleashing the power of AI to crush the competition, or maybe just maybe improve your business dramatically. To help me get there, I got Mark Pattison from San Diego, California, absolute rock star. We had a discussion recently. We were in Cabo in front of a bunch of our top clients. You are active in this. I am active in this. I've been making a statement to people over and over again. Anyone that tells you they're an expert in AI, outside of maybe Ray Kurzweil, outside of maybe some of the Google guys, they're lying to you. But people like you and I seem to be early into this. We got on in November. We've been toying around with it. It's only really 7 months old. I want to unpack, though, some of the things you're doing, some of the things I'm doing to inspire, to encourage people that are maybe like on the fence, or maybe they downloaded the app ChatGPT and haven't done anything with it. Cool with that?
Yep.
So Mark, for the people that don't know who you are, you're in San Diego, give them just a little insight, team leader, got a big business, got a lot of different businesses using AI in a lot of different ways, which we'll get into, but just who is Mark so they know?
Yeah, so I'm based out of San Diego, California. I own a company called PorchLight. We have around 100 agents between my different companies. I have a flipping team called Got Fixers.
Yeah.
Alcohol, I'm opening up a coffee shop called PorchLight Coffee in September. Just really using as much AI as possible, because I am, as an individual, people always ask me, how do you do it? How do you have enough time? I don't. There's always too many projects, but AI has allowed me to leverage, and it's allowed me to scale very quickly.
Yes.
It's essentially Google elevated. So,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
imagine what our parents thought of Google, or just anyone in general, when they first got a mobile phone, internet. That's what ChatGPT is for our generation.
1000%. So I'm going to, just for the listener, a friend of mine, Dr. Peter Diamandis, mentor, right? Abundance 360, this extraordinary human being, wrote a recent book called EXO. It's the exponential organization. And what he talks about in the book is, in the past, it would take 100,000 people to create $1 billion business. And then that number got down to like 10,000 employees to create $1 billion business. Then Instagram did it with 13 people, and then sold their company for $1 billion. And the game now is, who's going to be the next wave of entrepreneurs that do it with 3 people, utilizing AI. So we're in this discussion of, how can we do more? How can we serve more? How can we help more clients? How can we think faster? How can we, get through the minutia and get at least a succinct plan in place to go implement, or at least build upon, versus how do I do this?
Yes.
So let's just start with, what are the tools you like the most? And then we'll get into some of the practical applications and the prompts and all that stuff. So what are some of the tools you're using, and I'll kind of bounce in between with some of the tools that I'm using?
Yeah, so we use everything from just basic ChatGPT, which is my favorite. There's different options out there, of course, but essentially it's like whether you use Bing or you use Google or you use Yahoo, you pick your favorite, and I found that you kind of stay with it. Yeah. So I'm on ChatGPT the most. Mm-hmm. I do have plugins and different things with Chrome extensions,
yes.
But I really focus, to be honest, my main thing is just using ChatGPT for myself, because I'm more the visionary for my companies.
Yes.
So I don't need to figure out how to integrate and make sure that these things happen. That's what my team members are for.
Right.
So they're using a lot of automation, where maybe blog posting and different things throughout. But my favorite personally is just plain old, just go to it, use it as my Google. That's what I've been using it for creating my businesses, creating my roadmaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about it the same, but I would replace Google with, I'm going to upload all of Mike Vance's content into ChatGPT, because it currently doesn't exist. And whether it's Mike Vance or Jay Abraham or so many of my mentors, I need that strategic thinking partner. And I'm now leaning on, 45 minutes driving back, and I'm literally holding the audio version of ChatGPT and I'm having a conversation with it. If I wanted to reimagine this plan and our goal is this, our profit is that, the number of people is this, the FTE count, and I literally am just talking into it, can you write for me a summary of what that plan would look like? Like, for the person listening, I don't think alone anymore. I'm always thinking with my mastermind partners. I'm always running ideas past my friends. But I think we're saying the same thing, that like this is now as important as my cell phone, as important as any other device I'm using in my business, because I can get it so much faster. I can literally say, I'm talking to this client. They want to achieve this, 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 and this. What are the 7 most important things they have to do? Prioritize them for them. Unpack each one of those. If I was only going to pick one, how would you prioritize it? If their goal was this, what would you do? And I'm just having this conversation, and I know it's becoming more intelligent because I'm asking these questions.
Yep.
But give us so ChatGPT, go to the next one, because we're going to unpack a bunch of these. What else do you use?
Yes. So another one for video that we love is, so Opus is another one, or Munch. So you can basically upload your YouTube clip. Say you have a video on YouTube, you can throw it in there. And maybe the video guys are hating this, but it essentially edits for you clips, and it'll highlight and pull out and put text over. So it's basically doing all the job for the editing.
Right.
And it can throw out and it can rank it. So it'll tell you, hey, this is a 93 out of 100 for SEO. This will give you the ranking on, this is your best post, and it'll give you a description of why. So if you need to go and post it on social, just copy and paste it.
So Idris, how long does it take to take a 1-hour version of Tom Ferry and edit it down into 9 different slices that we can then put on Instagram, YouTube Shorts? Like, give me more than a number than a while. Hector? Okay, so 3-4 hours, right? So 3-4 hours of a really good video editor, 2 of them right here inside this room. I upload the video into YouTube, and I didn't even adjust any of the like options around fonts or this. I just said, just go ahead and go. Boom. And then I went about my work, and then I get an email. Hey, you have like 19 new videos you should review. And I'm looking at the first one. It says, this video came in at a 96 score. The video successfully captures the audience attention with an engaging hook and seamlessly takes them through the topic of social connection and its impact on well-being. My friend, if you're shooting long form video and you're not using something like this, and you're putting demands on your VA or a world-class editor like I have, you can now do it in seconds, freeing them up to do more work.
For sure. Yeah, I'm not saying to replace the individual. I think it's just, it's almost like steroids for the individual. That's why I'm saying is my team takes these prompts and they run with it. So the things that you can go and set up on automation, whether you can take an Excel sheet of all the topics you want, have it auto upload and create you blogs that post to your blog daily.
Right.
So that you're constantly getting interactions on there, and then it can take that and post it out on social media. So just imagine how much more your marketing team can do. Right. Imagine how much more you can create. It's unlimited.
So you shared, we were on a video mastermind the other day, and you said active pieces.
Yes.
So active pieces does a lot of different things. So I think when you search for active pieces, you need to put in like active pieces, automated writing blog. Because active pieces does a lot of other things. This is one little sliver of it. I have shared this with 24 CEOs of companies, mostly startups, where I said to them, are you looking for more SEO? Are you looking for more content marketing? Oh God, Ferry, if I hear one more thing about content marketing, I'm going to punch somebody in the face. I know I have to do it. I said, okay, 2 things. You'll appreciate this, and then give me your feedback. Answerthepublic.com.
Yes.
You go to answerthepublic.com and you type in, I'll use one, for example, recruiting real estate agents for one of my CEOs. And on Answer the Public, because I'm a paid subscriber, I suddenly get every question that's happening around the internet regarding recruiting real estate agents. How do I recruit agents? Why do agents leave? And I take all those questions and I say, summarize, give me the list, upload it into active pieces, and say, now write me a daily blog covering each one of these subjects. Does this sound familiar? Because this is what you told me. And I was like, stealing that for all my CEOs. How have you applied it to your real estate business?
So same, because we do have so many different companies we have so guys, I did not have a marketing person until Tom made me hire my first marketing person. You're welcome, Kate. You have a job because of this, man.
Yes. Let's
So
go, Kate.
I always did it off of relationships, but now Kate is able to go and take this, and she's our marketing hub. That's a
Yes.
shared service provider.
Yes.
So you guys see the fractional CFOs, you see the fractional marketing people.
Yep.
So essentially, she is servicing all my companies,
Yes.
and she's able to do it because of this. So she's taking active pieces. She has all the content because she's not in real estate.
Yes.
I had to give her the topics. I told her to go to answerthepublic.com,
Right.
check out what people are Googling,
Right.
put that in, and then now it's creating blogs. Because if you want your marketing person to create blogs for you and they're not in real estate and they don't have much backing, yeah, they're in the office, they understand a little bit of it,
Right.
but they're not agents.
No, and it's funny. Like we have a staff writer in our office who recently, been with me forever and decided to exit. And my comment to the team was, as much as I always loved that guy and he was a hard worker, he never understood the language of our clients. So I'd have to have his stuff rewritten. He was a beautiful writer, but then I have to say, someone that understands the business needs to rewrite this.
Yeah.
Right. Now we take these, we just upload it in. They write the blog every day, and I'm curious. With most of the CEOs I have doing this now, and they're not doing it, turning over to their marketing department, somebody else is doing it. They're now getting daily content that they post on LinkedIn, on their Facebook posts with a photo, like long form content, right? And then of course on their websites, right? On their blogs. But some of the smart ones came back to me and said, yeah, but before I did that, I went back into ChatGPT, uploaded the entire thing and said, now optimize this for SEO for my business. Here's the keywords that I use, based upon my Google search, right? Or Google keywords for my ads. And then it rewrote the blog just a little bit to make sure it was optimized. Thoughts on that?
No, I love the idea of making sure, but also edit it to you. You can't just trust it.
Thank you.
Because when you
Yes.
send out an all company email, your employees will respond back, thanks ChatGPT.
Yes.
And I was like, no, I wrote that.
Yeah.
So I actually use ChatGPT and I'm like, oh, I usually don't write in paragraphs.
Yes.
I'm usually, I'm a driver, bullet points, to the point. And they're like, where are all these paragraphs coming from, Mark?
So now people are going to know when I say, hi, ChatGPT, once again, I want you to write like Tom Ferry, which means occasional misspellings are totally appropriate. Right?
Yes.
And then it writes a little bit and it struggles with it. I'm like, no, you got to make it sound more like me. All right. So let's go. What else are you? So we got ChatGPT, we got Answer the Public, we got active pieces, we got Opus.pro or Opus Clips. If you Google it, it's that one. What about from a graphic design standpoint? Are you using anything there?
We do a little bit. Logo.com is AI. So I needed to create a new logo for my escrow company.
Yep.
So what I went in there pretty quickly. And it's usually what I use it for. It's kind of like, hey, these are what I like. Now I give it to my marketing person. I'm like, fine tune this.
Yeah.
So for example, my short-term management company, we created it on logo.com, created us all the documents, gave us the brand coloring, gave us the fonts, what it be. Then I gave it to my marketing gal and I said, I like this, but I want it to be more vivid.
Yes.
The colors were a little dull, and I was looking at other property management sites, and I was like, man, everything is super bright and fun.
Yes.
If you want to come to San Diego. So AI doesn't maybe understand that portion, but it did kick out a ton of options for me.
Right.
And it gives you things that you can select, and you can go back and say, hey, I don't like those 5, but take these 2 and create me 20 more. And it'll create you 20 just off that within seconds.
Right.
So no one, no human can do that work, but it's kind of this is my intro packet of branding to give to my marketing person.
Bingo.
So
2 more on top of that. Canva obviously has launched a lot of AI inside Canva, and everybody uses Canva, so that's a no-brainer, right?
Yep.
But the one that is interesting, I was talking to one of my coaches, Alicia Essig. Shout out to Alicia. I got obsessed like a couple weeks ago with Beautiful.ai. And Beautiful.ai is like literally I go in and say, I'm building a PowerPoint, I'm building a marketing flyer, I'm building a piece like this. Here's what I want. I want a big, beautiful image that shows this, this, and this, a golf course, whatever it may be. And I need to add my photo in. It just goes boop, like this. Yeah. I mean, it's so instantaneous. It's almost scary. Now we see commercials now of some of the big monster companies out there that are doing this. But I'm finding like for our clients, like low cost, easy solution. I think the whole game is speed, having a creative thinking partner, to your point, having to get 25 options and then use your genius to say, I like that one and that one, but make it brighter and then give it to your team.
Yes.
How else do you see a CEO of a company, an agent using these tools that we're talking about so far just to speed everything up?
I mean, for example, I'm going to have a call with an attorney. I got an offer on a commercial property, and now I own a residential team.
Yes.
I understand commercial, and my license in California works for both, but I'm not 100% proficient in commercial. So I said, ChatGPT, look at this letter of intent. Mm-hmm. What should I ask an attorney based on these facts of what I've been getting in returns and what they're including in the offer.
Right.
What are they missing out on what's normal for an offer? And it gave me answers.
Yes.
So that I didn't have to go into the conversation completely just, hey, what is the attorney going to tell me? Because, they may think I understand something where I don't. Also, sometimes you don't want to maybe ask the wrong questions. So you want to come a little bit educated.
Right.
That was huge for me. And I did that just today. I just threw that in there. So if you have the 4 version, you can throw in PDFs and you can actually ask it question.
Yes.
So if you're maybe doing Command F normally on a PDF to find something, instead you can just actually ask the question and say like, how much is rent? And if it's a 20-page lease document, it'll explain rent to you.
Right.
It's pretty insane.
Right. And what is included in that triple net lease and what is not, whatever. So this is one, Jason Pantana and I want to say it was like last December. I was during the holidays, and he's a nerd, right? Like, and I say that lovingly, like, and I am a nerd, and you are a nerd. Like, we're taking advantage of these tools, and so we were like texting back and forth about something, and he says, "Hey, I was just reviewing this contract, and what I did is I uploaded in ChatGPT, and I found like 4 things in here that are good for you and bad for me, and 5 things in here that are really good for me, and 4 that are bad for you. We might want to address this." And I was like, "Did you read that contract?" He's like, "No, I put it through ChatGPT." And I said, "Tell me the ways where it's good for me and bad for them and vice versa." And I identified every one of them. I'm like, "Send me a copy of that." Send it right to my attorney. My attorney was like, I totally see that point of view. Let me charge you a couple $1,000s and I'll fix all those things. But the point is, again, it is just another example that I don't know how to say this, Mark, so maybe you can say it for me better. I'm playing with this idea, the notion that we are no longer in an environment where you have to ask how. Mm-hmm. It is more about what do I want? Maybe why do I want it? And then who is going to help me apply it? The magic now is in asking the question, what do I want?
Yep.
I'd like to know how to take my real estate business from 25 transactions to 75 transactions. I'd like to be 70% listings sold, 30% buyer sale. My database currently consists of 1,200 people, of which 175 are past clients. The balance are people I either met at open houses or in my sphere of influence, or I bought some of those leads, maybe 30% from Google, Facebook, right? And I give it all the details and I say, write me a marketing plan.
But it won't, because you should just hire a coach. No.
but okay, this is the, like, I've had coaches say to me, "Oh my goodness, we're going to be out of business." And I said, no, because we hold people accountable.
It's the accountability.
And to your point, just as I do when I write a plan for someone or I'm creating a strategy for somebody and using my IP to ask the right question, then I need to go back like the blog. I need to personalize it, to customize it.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to get this beautiful person listening or watching right now to understand robots are not going to take over the world. You're not going to die. AI is not going to replace you. It's not. Nope. Like, agents that use it are just going to have a competitive advantage.
It's going to take me a lot less time to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep working. It's not going to make anything probably easier because we're just going to put more on our plates.
Right.
But it allows me to create, I put together a business plan in maybe an hour, and it was probably the most proficient business plan I've ever seen.
Exactly.
I looked through all of it. I'm like, holy crap, this is genius. This is how you can put in there how you should pay people.
Yes.
And it'll talk about what laws you need to put in place. And it says, I'm not an attorney, but it'll give you the idea. Then you run it by your attorney.
Exactly.
I would have never even thought about paying some of my employees this way.
I think we were chatting about this, and I've had the discussion now with several other people, some people in the title insurance business, et cetera. I said, I think we need to take every single piece of legislation currently in real estate today, and we need to upload it into ChatGPT to make sure that when an agent says, I'd like to do ABC 1, 2, 3. Am I missing anything from a legalese?
Yes. That's what we do. So we uploaded everything Car Legal has. So essentially it's just a document this big that you're never going to read.
Right.
I was thinking, wow, it'd be amazing to upload the tax code.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure,
how do I do this?
It might even be inside there, but so Peter Diamandis said he believes in the not too near distant future that it will be considered malpractice for a doctor to diagnose somebody without actually going to ChatGPT or some equivalent of it.
Of course,
because there's like 2,000 new reports being published every single day for doctors around the world. Nobody can keep up with that, but ChatGPT can.
Yes.
What is the latest findings for this surgery? What is the latest findings for this issue? What is the latest findings for? And again, like, that's just, I think it's the matrix. It's the ability to go, hey, Tank, I need to know how to fly a B-12 helicopter. Okay, got it. I think that's what it's doing. We still need to fly it. We still need to shoot the gun. We still need to go on the appointment. We still need to have the idea for the business. Am I crazy?
No, I absolutely love it. Even so, one of your coaching clients, our mutual friend Tammy Pack, wrote a book.
Yeah.
Her book came out the other day, and she said, "Hey, I would love if you could, support me." So of course, clicked it, bought it immediately,
Right.
and I said, "Oh, I need to write a review." So I went to ChatGPT the day her book came out,
Yes.
and I said, "ChatGPT, will you write a review for me for Tammy Pack's book?" And and I said, "Ask me any questions you need to know about the book,
Yep.
so that you can find out how we can write the best review."
Yeah.
It already read the book. I'm like, where did you even get access to this?
Right.
I just got my book. How did you get it
Yes.
already?
Yeah.
It's
did
insane.
Did she publish it on Amazon?
Amazon.
And there's a print version you
Yes.
can download, right?
But it's
it just went,
insane. You just
already
don't
got
even
it.
think. You're like, how did you get this and read it before I even got it in the mail? And
Right.
yeah.
Okay, on that note, a very, very practical thing for everybody watching. As people are making comments, this is a great way to use comment generators. If people are leaving reviews on your business, this is a great way for you to respond, positive or negative, right? I get an email from a CEO, not to be named, and he had an issue with something I said on a podcast. I'll just say it that way. Yeah, and he wrote me this long email, and he's been a friend for a long time, great human being. Ferry, look, I've always admired you, but you said this and smacked me in the head like 14 times. So, I'm sitting there, it's like 7:30 at night, had a glass of wine with my wife, I'm reading this email, and I'm kind of getting a little steamy, like it's been a long day, you know what I mean? And I'm like, upload to ChatGPT. This person's really important to me. I do care about them a lot. They're giving me their perspective. I'd like to write an empathetic response to this, but it's got to sound exactly like Tom Ferry. And it wrote this beautiful email back, even answering some of the questions and the concerns, but having empathy for them. And I said, okay, well now let me tweak, send it to my VP of industry and said, what do you think? He's like, that's beautiful, right? And I was like, send it, right? The guy emailed me back and he was like, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I know you have the best of intentions in the podcast. And just sometimes I listen all the time, but sometimes you say shit that I just want to kill you over, right? So we just had this great exchange and we're right as rain again. I could have, if I would have wrote that myself, there's a very good chance I would have said something snarky, not with ever the intention to offend anybody, but sometimes we just, we're like, right? And and sometimes comes out in your email and it's not so bueno.
My one sentence emails.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Do not approve.
Synthesize.
Yes.
We don't even know if we're pronouncing that correctly, but it's SYNTHESIA, and I love this site.
So with it, you can essentially take a video of you and replicate you. I mean, you can be anywhere and everywhere, and you take a script, it's gonna upload, and it's gonna talk as if it's you using your voice. Wailopo is actually using it right now as a beta, and they played and they were like, "Hey Mark, give me an address." I spit off an address I was looking at for a house to buy, and sure enough, my friend's face was up on the screen talking about the house and the address and saying, "I look forward to seeing you at the home at 123 Main Street at 3:00. I'm like, how did it do it so quickly? That technology.
Right. So this is both thrilling and scary, right? When we talk about one of the things that will be challenging in the next presidential cycle is stuff like this.
Yes.
Right? Because all of a sudden you've got, contender suddenly on video and it's not really them, right? So it's kind of
Well, both
weird.
of them are going to be gone. They're getting pretty old.
I'm not even going
They'll
there.
just keep going,
I'm not
right?
even going there with you, right? But I agree. The AI robot that's now the president. But what I love about this is if you thought sort of tactically about what are all the communication points where there's a breakdown potentially or a need to make sure that the customer understands. And sometimes an email is okay, but oftentimes a video is just infinitely better because they see your smiling eyes. But maybe, just maybe, you go with, create professional videos in 15 minutes. And I love this, ready? Turn text into speech with over 120 languages. And if you want, choose from 140 diverse AI avatars. I interpret that as I could have Sarah or Frank as my virtual assistant who shoots all of my FAQ videos, all of my transactional support videos, everything in my follow-up. And by the way, he or she is never sick, never complains, and never asks for another raise. And they were all for free on Synthesize.
Or it's coming from you and you're sending a thank you to all of the agents that are doing co-broke with your agents so you can recruit them.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, right? So the point is GPTE.ai.
Yes.
Right? One of many sort of marketplaces of every possible AI tool. When you go there, what do you look for? How do you play around with it?
I mean, it's kind of like if you look at the App Store.
Exactly.
So if you're just looking to see if you're like, man, I'm overwhelmed, but why or how I could implement this AI, essentially that site is going to take everything, the latest and greatest, and summarize it for you.
Yes.
So you can just go on there and play around. If you need, if you need help on writing blogs or video, there's literally categories for each one.
Yep.
And you can go in there and create and look at the best, sites. And the cool thing is a lot of these sites are very affordable.
Yes.
There's usually a free version, but then $20 is like the most I think I've seen.
Right.
And it's well worth it if you think of how much you'd actually pay to have that service.
100%. I go back to, I'm going to date myself. It was like March must have been, September of 2020. I was in the Florida Keys, and a really significant writer, like a direct response writer, friend of mine, mentor of mine, calls me and he says, have you seen conversion.ai? And I was like, no. And I'm like driving from the Keys to the Miami airport with my family in the car on the phone, very rude. And I start going conversion.ai. And I was like, whoa. And then it went from conversion.ai to Jarvis.
Yep.
And then Disney said, no. And now they are Jasper, right? That to me was the first time that I was like, oh my God, the world is really changing and it's changing fast.
And I heard it from you first.
I
was like, wait, what is this stuff? And I'm like looking it up and
And they were smart because they really targeted real estate agents. I think probably because some early conversations, I actually tried to buy the company, tried to invest in the company, and they were like, we're not ready yet. And I'm like, oh, right. But so pissed. But they did things like listing descriptions.
Yes.
Response to reviews. Like they gave you these very targeted. So Jasper is actually one of the first things when you go to chat. It's still a high ranking AI writing solution that you might want to check out if you haven't for real estate. Final thoughts, because we've talked about a lot of stuff and you and I both get really excited in this conversation. Final thoughts or prompts that you have found to be effective. I've got a couple in my head. Prompts that you use to get better work out of ChatGPT.
So I always use it as in, be sure to, I talk to it as if it's maybe an assistant or someone that I'm working with, that kind of collaborating. So I don't try to get the answer out of them in one question. I will ask them a question and I'll say, please ask me questions back, or, please ask me 10 questions or as many questions as you need in order to get a accurate response.
Yep.
And then it brings me back questions and I'll just answer those questions one by one.
Yeah,
that's been the best way to get a thorough response. You can also, you can stop if you see it's going kind of left from where you're looking to go and you're like, all right, stop the response. Let's go in and say, no, I need you to do it this way. Yeah. It'll say, oh, I'm so sorry. And it regenerates a different response.
Right.
So you just got to work with it as if, you're working with maybe an assistant and you're saying, hey, what do you need out of that response?
Exactly.
And you can really get whatever you want. It's unlimited.
The one I'm obsessed with, and I think we actually talked about this on the mastermind, is you have an ideal client, right? You probably have multiple ideal clients. You have an ideal first-time buyer client. You have an ideal first-time seller client. You have an investor client. You have a fix and flip client. So I say, I want you to think like a first-time home buyer. And you basically say, I want to know what are the worries, what are the concerns, what are their fears, understanding that interest rates may be a factor, payment may be a factor, affordability may be a factor. I want to know the conversations that are going on inside their heads and the questions that they're burning to get answers for. Go. And it just spits out all this information. And then I say, now take each one of those fears, worries, concerns, and conversations, write me a headline and a 47-second video script that I could record that would deliver value to that person and engage them in wanting more information from me. Go. And it is mind blowing. I could sit there, Mark, you and I could sit there and say, what do we hallucinate the concerns, worries, and fears are, right? Hey, oh, by the way, I was on, Answer the Public.
Yes.
And I took 7 of them and I said, they have concerns also like this, and this. What are the questions you have about these concerns? I'm having this dialogue with this insane superpower of bazillions of terabytes of information to figure out who my ideal customer is and how do I communicate in the most authentic way to them. That could be the most important prompt in my mind.
And then you're making a video. So then when someone Googles that question, you're the first thing that pops up.
Thank you.
And then you have the authority because they've watched all of your videos.
Right.
You get the SEO because you turned the video into a blog.
Thank you. Thank you.
You put it on Munch and then now it's on your social media.
Thank you very much.
And you've done 3 people's job in 1 hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like it's crazy and complicated. Do you remember when MySpace first came out? My brother said, who's ever going to talk to friends on the internet? Well, you were wrong, Darren.
Right.
So then like a few weeks later, he asked me, hey, can you help me change my MySpace song? I was like, I knew you'd be on MySpace.
I remember that. First mover advantage, right? And obviously early adapters. Are you gonna buy the new Apple device?
No.
Oh, I'm totally getting it.
I feel like I'd be like, I did the Oculus.
Yeah.
I bought my dad that for Christmas.
Yes.
I get always a little dizzy when I start wearing. Every holiday I go home and then I'm wearing those things. I feel like I'm too dizzy.
But I have the insight on that. I think part of it is because they front loaded all the hardware into the front. So the new Apple device, they actually put on the side, which is cool because if you think about it, like they're going to allow you to kind of weight it back here. What I hated about the Oculus was all the weight was in the front of my head. And I found like the bridge of my nose feeling. So anyway, the point is, I just find it was MySpace. It was Beluga. Remember Beluga?
Yep.
No one remembers Beluga because it was
Friendster.
I was on Friendster, and then I was like, oh, this Facebook thing. And then my buddy said, hey, you should get on YouTube. And I was like, wait, I'm already doing these audio recordings. And he's like, audio recordings are stupid. Could you imagine if I would have kept going with audio recordings? I started in 2003. Ugh. Anyway, this is one of those moments in time. It is like when you went from a BlackBerry to an iPhone. That's the way I describe it. Like BlackBerry to an iPhone. You're like, oh, this is rolling on the side. And now you're like, how do I hit the buttons? And then you became proficient. You went from not driving to driving a stick shift, learning how to ride a motorcycle, learning how to ride a bike. It is the same exact thing. And if you could just remind yourself that you are beautiful, you are powerful. And when you set your mind to learn something, you do. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have children. You wouldn't have a car. You wouldn't be in the real estate business. You passed the real estate exam, right? You leaned in, you learned, and then look what's happened.
Yeah. And just go to ChatGPT if you don't know how to use it and ask how to use it.
I'm a real estate agent in Iowa. How can I use this? What would you recommend? What are other real estate agents doing to use this tool? I love that.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a lot simpler than you think. And I think people are overcomplicating it.
Yes.
It's meant to help your life and simplify things. So you don't have to overcomplicate it.
No, exactly. Thank you so much for being on the show. This was super valuable. Follow him on Instagram. And hey, if you got questions about this, you can DM me on Instagram. You can DM him on Instagram. We're here to serve. Thank you so much for watching the show. See you on the next one.